is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Okay, roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Battaglia.
Here.
And Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we start, a couple sad announcements. Everybody who knows Andy here, Andy is our caretaker in the building. He lost his mom this past week. Her name was Marga Mazzini. And also my mother-in-law, Laura Santero, passed away. We just had her services the end of last week. So if we could do a moment of silence for that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
And
I wanna-
David Sims' mother going to go through an operation tomorrow.
Who is?
David Sims' mother.
Oh, David Sims' mom is going in for surgery, so prayers for her. I want to thank everybody who came by or gave flowers. Council gave beautiful flowers for my mother-in-law's service and others as well, and mass cards. And we really appreciate it. It's a tough time. It was a tough week last week, but life goes on and we'll get through it. With that, we'll move on to the city manager's report.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the city manager's report for January 23rd, 2018. Black History Month luncheon is being scheduled for late February. Details will be advertised as soon as possible. The HPAC update is back on schedule for this Friday, January 26th. Rescheduled events will remain rescheduled. Updates are available at the hpac.org website. For the public that doesn't realize, we had a condition of a pipe that burst approximately 10 days ago at our new HPAC, which caused some flooding, which caused some damage to the infrastructure as far as the equipment for the two of the units, and also some flooring and some ceiling tiles and some issues. So obviously there's an insurance. We also still have a performance bond for the construction of the building. So those things, but unfortunately we had to cancel two events immediately to get this all cleaned up. But from all that I've been promised, we're prepared to start having our events that are going to occur starting again Friday. So the center will be open and we're going to move forward and hopefully we won't miss a step. Number 3 is the Teterboro Airport meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, January 24th at 7 p.m. at 90 Moonachie Avenue in the conference room. Obviously, Deputy Mayor Canestrino, do you have any other comments or anything that you want to speak about at this time?
Of course, it's open to the public, and I will be attending, representing the city. Everything I see, things are moving in the right direction, working together with the FAA. I noticed there was a little drop-off in phone calls from Hackensack to Teterboro. I think everybody was so happy with the news that we're moving forward. I just want to ask folks to, continue. If you hear something flying low, something that's extremely noisy, continue to log those calls. It's very important that, we keep that presence there from Hackensack and Teterboro. Thanks, Ted.
Thank you. Main Street meter monitoring. Parking meters will be monitored as of Saturday, January 27th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. A Nixle message will be sent to remind residents. The parking enforcement enhancement and the fees are something that's going to be addressed in 2018, and we're slowly going to start stepping up the administrative part and the enforcement part of our parking meters. as the city progresses, parking always becomes a critical area, and certainly the funding and cost for parking has always been an issue and seems to always be an issue that's brought up virtually every meeting for some either shortage or purpose for parking at these council meetings or at the COW meeting. This Wednesday, January 25th, is the last day for Christmas tree pickups. So if you have a tree and you still have it in your house, it might be time to go because Thursday's it. Otherwise, I guess you continue to decorate it and enjoy it in your own way. The State Street conversion has been completed. I've had a lot of positive feedback from people who really enjoy the conversion. I think it really turned out to be a much better process and certainly an enhancement. There's still a few bugs that are going to have to be worked out, but I'm inspired that the conversion certainly will serve the city well and its residents. And as soon as I get a full accounting of the expenses of state, we will start to pre-plan for our Main Street conversion. And that would complete the city manager's report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, right off the bat, Resolution 22-18 will remain tabled. We need to announce that it's remaining tabled. That's why it's on the docket. So we're going to move to number 2, which is Resolution 23-18.
Final adoption of ordinance 1-2018, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Vehicles and Traffic, to add and remove certain bus stops within the City of Hackensack. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, I need a motion to open to the public on this, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Give your name and address to the clerk.
Yes, good evening, Kathleen Salvo, 47 Lotus Street, Hackensack. Will this be done on a trial basis? Like if it doesn't work out, can it be changed?
Absolutely. It's an ordinance, we can always change it.
No, I'm talking about once you make the ordinance and people are saying it's too far to go to the bus or it's not in the right spot.
Yeah, no, it's,
We could-
it's
we
our,
could-
yeah, we can definitely
we
change
can
the
make the
ordinance.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever we want.
I mean, we're changing it now. If you look at this section of the city code, I think there's a list of 8 or 9 times it's been amended in recent memory. So obviously, bus lines change, streets change. I mean, you have to communicate, obviously, with New Jersey Transit and anyone else who's operating a bus, but if there are problems with the operation of it, it is fairly quickly fixable.
There could be issues on New Jersey Transit end, there could be issues on the.
Yeah, on the passenger end, because one
it's
time
possible,
when they
but-
did Hudson Street, they eliminated one, and people don't know where to come. There should be some place where they can complain to.
Well,
But
there's
I-
going to
I
be
don't-
signage at all the bus
so
stops that
they can
exist now.
complain to somebody or make recommendations or...
Actually, Ted has some information on that he gave last time, but there was a lot of thought process went into this because it's a big move for them as well as for us.
Yeah, the
But-
main one is that State and Essex. We had to move it around the bend, and it was really, it's kind of far from where it was. It's going towards.
In all fairness, the traffic department, John Jar, we've
I know.
we've
John
looked
Jar-
at.
John Jar's- no, it's
We've
good.
looked at all the due diligence we can, and just like that good city calendar that I'm so fond of, we continue to be a work in progress.
The city
Listen,
council,
you
with
can't have
no
a.
days and dates and
Whoa,
months. I look back, as far as in the 80s,
You know, I
we
wish
had
I
a
hadn't
calendar.
said
Now
it.
you
See,
brought it up.
see,
You brought it
I
up.
poked the mayor, I
Brought
get
it
it. But in either case,
Set your foot on fire.
just as the city calendar, we are continuing to make adjustments to enhance this and make it better. And I have to say, we have a committed team, and we're gonna try to reasonably address as many issues as we can.
Okay,
And I
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else on this motion or this ordinance and this ordinance only? Seeing none, motion to close to the public?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 1-2018 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 24-18, introduction.
Introduction of ordinance 2-2018, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Vehicles and Traffic, to establish the south side of Atlantic Street between State Street and Main Street as a no parking area.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 2-2018 as introduced does now pass on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on February 13th, 2018 at 8:00 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council. At such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Very good, thank you. Resolution 25-18.
Resolution authorizing tax refunds for duplicate payments and state board judgments.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 26-18.
Resolution authorizing tax appeal attorney to settle the cases on the attached list dated January 23rd, 2018, that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 27-18.
Resolution authorizing 2018 emergency temporary budget appropriation prior to the adoption of the budget per NJSA 40A 4-20.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 28-18.
Resolution authorizing transfers of 2017 budget appropriation reserves.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 29-18.
Resolution authorizing ambulance reimbursement.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 30-18.
Resolution authorizing membership in the Houston Galveston Area Council Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 31-18.
Resolution authorizing execution of agreement with Otterstat Agency for Risk Management Services.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 32-18.
Resolution authorizing award of contract for engineering services related to the environmental assessment of city-owned parking lot.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 33-18. Payment of bills.
Payment of bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Does anybody have any conflicts or reasons to not vote for the consent agenda as it stands?
Okay.
Seeing none, moving forward with the consent agenda.
The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a Certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and the consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. This
Okay,
consists of 3418 through 3818, resolution authorizing the building department refund, resolution authorizing a recreation department refund, resolution authorizing the 2019 HAPADA grant, resolution authorizing boards and commission appointments to the Access to All Advisory Board, Condo Co-op Board, Environmental Commission, Rent Stabilization Board, and Shade Tree Advisory Committee, and resolution authorizing municipal endorsement of community development grant for 2018 for the Bergen County Housing Authority's tenant-based rental assistance program.
Okay, very good. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Very good. That was quick, huh? Light night tonight. That could be a record. With that, need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who would like to speak, now would be your time. Please come forward. Give your name and address to the clerk. You will have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Joe DiCarlo. Joe DiCarlo, 785 Summit Avenue. A couple months ago, Airbnb was brought up to the council. I was just wondering if there's like an update of if anything's being done to regulate it or put a stop to it.
Well, I mean, I can.
Well, they let, council's probably
Yeah.
better off
I
talking.
mean, we've done some considerable research in seeing how Airbnbs have been regulated in other jurisdictions around New Jersey and around the country. As you can imagine, different towns take very different approaches. Some towns very much encourage it and look to regulate it and obtain tax revenue from it. Other towns do not. Right now there are some regulations involving involving short-term rentals that may come into play here. But I think probably what we'll do next is probably put together a list of possibilities for the council to choose from in terms of possible regulation. Again, ranging from doing nothing at all, which a lot of municipalities have done and just waited to see how it plays out, to banning them altogether, to encouraging them and trying to obtain revenue from them. So there is a lot of variation available, and it's going to be something I think the council's going to have to mull over and decide what direction they want to go in, if they want to go in any direction at all right now.
Well, this is pretty much something new. I think when Mrs. Ponteseca brought it up first time, I didn't even know it existed. And I didn't even know that I could have one across the street from me and I wouldn't even know it.
That's me. I have.
It's across the street from you?
It's like the amount of traffic going down Catalpa.
Right.
And I see it right out of my front window.
What
Right.
kind of building, what kind of facility is it?
It's a residential house. It's a 4-bedroom house. It was knocked down. It used to be a 2-bedroom house, and they turned it into like this big monstrosity. And the lady's like renting out 2-3 of her rooms. I see some suspicious activity. I can't say what they're doing.
Right.
But like, I don't mind Airbnb as long as there's some kind of regulation, because I don't know who's across the street. I could have drug dealers. I could have a registered sex offender.
I was totally amazed when she brought it up that, and I mentioned something to you about something on my
These
block
people
where I
could-
think I might have one right across the street from me.
Sure, I see it all the time. I take license plates down because I just see a lot of funny business going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I
whenever
know
you see
some-
that, you should contact this gentleman right here immediately.
Yeah.
So,
It's 190 Catalpa Ave.
Yeah. I mean, what street did you say you live on?
I live on Summit,
Okay.
but I live on the corner of Summit and Catalpa Avenue.
Okay.
The house
Yeah,
is on Catalpa.
because I had done some, I had looked into it. I went on Airbnb myself just to see, Hackensack at the time when I went on Airbnb had about a dozen listings. There was a whole house that I was able to determine, even though they didn't put the street, I was able to kind of look at the number and figure it out. I was asking, it's not the same house that you asked about. There are apartments in the buildings like the View, you know, I saw some apartments there. And then some places, individual rooms within a private home. There were about a dozen listed on the site, so wasn't massive. And then there were one or two. There's another site called vrbo.com, which is like vacation rental by owner. There was a unit on there. You know, as I said, you know, some of them, some towns, you know, we talked about even in Bergen, Palisades Park, Cresskill, Englewood Cliffs, they all banned them altogether. Places like Hoboken have done nothing. There's also some legislation in Trenton, by the way, introduced by our own Assemblywoman Valerie Huddle, that was going to adopt a regulatory scheme, though it's not clear. Obviously, it's a new legislative session, whether the state is going to take any action on
The
it.
timer on?
You know, but there are also, if there are legitimate issues, I would encourage you to perhaps talk to the city manager, because there are other parts of our city code that deal with, you know, things like boarding and rooming houses and boarding houses and things like that. And some of these ordinances are old, but they may be applicable to a situation where we have somebody who seems to be abusing the rules that even right now might allow us to enforce something against a problematic homeowner. So perhaps that's something you might want to offline after the meeting have a conversation about.
I would definitely do that.
And we could look and see if there's
Give
a
Ted your
particular
contact
issue.
information, that would help.
I mean, I could see maybe like if it was like a high rise in an apartment building, but I think like in residential neighborhoods where there's families, where there's kids. I have a 2-year-old, my wife's 9 months pregnant. You know, I don't like strangers coming in and out of the neighborhood. And
Well, I'm not against somebody renting out their whole house, but renting out rooms is totally different. It's a rooming house. Yeah. Go ahead, Ted.
One of the major concerns that comes up for me personally is the Homeland Security issue. This city, back in September 11th, had people that stayed in this city before they climbed on that plane, and we had the towers. They can prove that they were in this city when they did this. So we have people from all areas, all states, all countries. We have no idea anything about them. So I hate to raise the concern, but I think it's a responsibility that we need to have some checks and balances to make sure. I'm not against anybody's livelihood. I understand that this is a supporting funding source to people that may have financial issues or needs to supplement or support their family by them. I'm not trying to extinguish people's livelihoods or the ability to pay their bills, but there seems to be no controls in almost all of these communities, that there is nothing that basically dictates or documents the comings and goings of these people and for what purpose. And I can't change my background. That raises a flag for me, because I think you at least need to know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not here to change this or rain on anybody's parade, but it's a concern of mine.
I'm curious. I mean, did you ever go on the Airbnb site to see if you were able to identify that
Oh, yeah.
property as a one that's
Absolutely.
being listed?
I have screenshots in my phone. I have the woman. I mean, I see her. She's barely there, but I have her ad in my phone. I can look it up. You know, I know who's coming in and out of there. I took license plates down. Like I said, one of them actually, there's a warrant for that person, but you know, they can't. It's not a big enough warrant to like pull them out.
You need,
If you can hang,
like
I mean, I don't know if
you
your
need to
time
give
frame,
your
but
contact information to Ted.
if you can,
The contact information, your phone number, I'll get back.
We're way
We'll follow
past our 3 on that, so.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Yep.
Thanks.
Next, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Paul Incalcaterra at Broadway in Hackensack. I'm the gentleman who lives next to the Cultural Arts Center. I have a request here. I know the city gives cars out to use for its employees, and the rec center has a white car, little minivan, And what they've been doing is, you know that we have problems there with the parking, especially during the day. And this white van, I've mentioned it to one of the city council members, and he's done a little bit, but I don't think he has enough maybe power behind it. And what they do is, this van here, I have a picture of it. Let's see here. What they do is they park it there and they leave it there for a few days. Now, if they could park it on the side by Holt Street, it would leave the space. Now, Broadway is a tough area to park, especially,
Right.
like I said, during the day. If they could put a sign up there, say this is for rec center only parking, maybe one.
I'm sure he's going to deal with this
Or,
tomorrow. He's shaking his
So
head.
they don't park there. Now, one of the problems, if it's an overnighter, it's no big deal. So, okay, just like the rest of everybody else, it's an overnighter. But what they do is they park it there and they leave it there, and a few times, especially over the holidays, they leave it there, so that's 2 or 3 days that the car is there, no movement. Let me see, photos. Okay, so today I was there, you're not gonna go back to me. Today I was there and I took, today, I'm not so good with these things. Today I was there, this is the van. Okay,
Adios.
now, if I go back, I said to myself, maybe the council should know, it's not just me, December 31st, it's there again, a couple of days. December 7th, it's there for a couple of days. Now, I don't want to say, look, it's a terrible thing that it's there, but as a courtesy to the neighbors, because the street is tight.
Crowded.
Because of the parking. How hard is it to go park over there? Over there, park it over there. If there's a sign there, it's okay. Guys, the street's parked. Be courteous to your neighbor. Maybe you guys could take a look at who's using the vehicle. All the names of the guys. Oh,
That's
hey,
gonna be up to this
how about
gentleman
if
right
you
here.
park it over there? The neighbor next door is, it's not only for me, but it's for the rest of the people. The store across the street never complains. They got a good store, they're Broadway Deli, they're a clean business, they never can complain. But they need their parking too.
Right.
I mean, Saturday and Sunday, it's terrible. Now, they use, Saturday and Sunday, a lot of people are there, okay, and.
Oh, he's going to take care of this
So
tomorrow.
maybe, we could do something, that way, for the benefit of everybody.
He's-
And I'm hoping, give me just one more second, I'm hoping that you guys might be able to open up the lot, okay, that's under construction now, maybe on a temporary
They're-
basis.
They're doing some discussions with
So
them.
it's not as bad as I thought it would be. At night, it seems like there's a lot more spaces there, open up. But, if it snows, people have a rough time.
Right.
So maybe you can.
He's working on
He's
something
working
with
on
them
it.
right now.
Okay, all right. Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, motion to close. Oh,
No,
are
Mr.
you,
Sherwood
you
come.
speaking, Ms. Salvo?
I was thinking he's gonna give you a break.
Pretty quick closing us down, huh, John? Look, your efforts have been, I'm sorry, my name's Rich Serbo, 46 Spring Valley Avenue. Welcome to the public, welcome to the censoring of our public. So I think your efforts have been successful because there's no one here, there's no more opposition, there's nothing. We're here for 3 minutes and then you can go home early, and that's what our government's become, okay? So let's get started. John Lindsay, once the mayor of not Hackensack, of course. No, the mayor of New York City said that the power to tax is the power to live, especially for local government. And that sure is the case here, okay? And I'm glad that we've seen postings that you're going to now actually sit down and question the tax revenue coming in by the medical center. I think they should contribute more to this community because they're so prevalent here. They're everywhere, okay? And but I just wanted to make sure that you're not putting out this overture to them to get this over with and go easy on them. So let's make sure that's not the case, that you're opening negotiations with them just to get it over with and say, okay, give us a little more tax revenue so everyone's happy. If that's the case, we're going to scream bloody murder here, because they owe this city much more than I think you're going to ask for. Now, also, the same thing is all this untaxed property that the county has. Why not sit down and negotiate with our county executive to lower our tax rate? Look, it's Hackensack. We're the county seat here. There are so many untaxed properties here. Why not have a different tax rate for Hackensack and go about business that way? I think it's fair. I think it's a good request to make of the county government, and I think those in our leadership positions should be out there doing that, whether it's Mr. Mayor or our city manager or somebody that should have ongoing discussions with our county fathers, I guess, or there are county sort of overseers, really. So let's
Yeah, give it a couple.
that's it, right? There's my 3 minutes.
No, I just said I'm going to give him a little more time because other people went a little over, so.
Sure, yeah, that's
going.
it. Thank you, and again, taxes are too high, and hello to South Jersey residents where taxes are less than half. So welcome to our meeting. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Can I be off the clock to just answer Second's question? We have zoning laws that say that 3 or more people who are not related to each other can't live in the same house.
I'd have to check into that.
We also have zoning laws saying that for rooming houses
I know we have
to
rooming
have.
house.
We have rooming house areas, so this bed and breakfast, they can call themselves what they want. It's still illegal. We have three laws that say that.
I would
that
agree
these
with
people
that.
can't operate.
In the residential
There's an
neighborhood,
existing
in our
there
codes.
is,
An Airbnb
if they're
table.
unrelated.
As I mentioned
we have
before,
zo-
as I mentioned before, there are some ordinances in our
Yeah,
book
and I
that
can- I
may
can give them
apply
you
to a
because not off the
situation
bat,
like
I can't
this.
give you the numbers, but I know
Yeah.
that they exist.
But I don't want to prejudge anything, because obviously if there's an issue and there's a
And
citation, I don't want to be in
check
a
that
position
out
of
and
prejudging
yeah,
anything.
I can give them to her, because I
necessary
know,
for that
we
house.
also have rooming houses areas. We do have rooming houses in the city of Hackensack. They're monitored, they have to have fire escapes, they have to.
There's whole
yeah.
ordinances on those
But they're
subjects.
not in Summit Avenue, believe me, there's no rooming houses allowed in Summit Avenue. And you could have one person, you can rent to one person in your house. We have rules for this. So you can't call a bed and breakfast except to, rent to strangers. There are codes for this. And I can give them to, right offhand, I don't know the number of the codes, but I know they exist, because I've worked with them before.
I'm aware of that.
Okay, so I don't, they can't call themselves bed and breakfast. And bed and breakfast exists like down the shore, if there's a beach or a place to go to. They don't really exist in a city.
We have the Hackensack River.
Yeah, good luck on that one. And answer to Mr. Serbo's question, we should really be negotiating for the county to put our salt shed next to their salt shed on Kansas Street.
Wow.
Because it's
Novel.
taxable,
We're starting to
it's
think like that,
non-taxable.
this
No, I've been
story.
saying this, I told him this way in the beginning. We should be doing this right next to theirs.
we're
Because
trying
that's
to get
valuable
better.
property they were supposed to sell and put backs on the tax rolls when they put the
It makes no sense to have
homeless
two
cents.
salt
We
domes
could put
in
it
the
right
city
next to it,
park.
because ours is illegally, it's not bounded and it's not covered, and it's illegally.
In
banked
reality,
right
there
now.
should be one salt shed, and we should be buying our salt
Well,
from
we
county.
could, I would like to put one right next to theirs, because when the truck backs up, there's no residents there, they'll be making noise. It's an ideal location for it. And it's rateable land that they were supposed to give back to us when they flipped the homeless shelter to where they put it, down by the DPW. So our salt shelter should be next to their salt shelter. It should have been done like back in September before the winter started. And I said that to you, but we're all busy with Main
No,
Street
it's not
development.
our decision, it's theirs. That's where we're running.
What happened?
It's not our decision, it's their decision. That's where we're running into a little snafu.
I'll tell you, I'll go with you to the county if you want. We'll negotiate together.
I would
Forward you this.
pay to see that.
It should happen, and we need it. Okay, a few corrections from last,
That's a good time for, like Kathy said, a good time for freeholder meeting.
We sent it at a freeholder meeting, Kathy.
yeah, but why?
We're
why do I have to
trying.
do-
We're not
Why
getting
do I
it.
have to do?
Well, I mean, if you're
We're working with the
interested, we're
county
happy to
director
have you go
trying
to
to
the
do it.
freeholder meeting and bring it up.
But this is, it's a big wasted corner. They were supposed to give that corner back to us, remember? The corner of Hudson Street. And finally, we have the service station by Costco. We worked like 10 years on that corner for ratables, and it's a good ratable. Okay, a few corrections, because we sit down and we can't say anything because we get only 3 minutes. You people should get 3 minutes to close and see how it is to consolidate all your thoughts in 3 minutes. Mr. Mayor, you quoted the planning board as saying that we needed the bathrooms in front. That was the first meeting that the planning board had with you as a courtesy, and nobody else was invited, and it was sort of a closed meeting for the courtesy because you can do what you want as the mayor, and they only can make suggestions. But then at the second meeting, when it was open to everyone, and we filled this room and we all told you why it shouldn't be there for so many reasons and so many good reasons, and also that we didn't need the senior citizens. I wish you would save money on that because we already have one, and we could save money. And Mr. Pataglia, it is $8 million. You correct? It's $8 million. It's not 6. The building is 6. It's 8, and you'll spend it. Trust me. DMR will spend it. He'll find a way to do it. He'll find ways of doing it. Anyway, at the second meeting, when the planning board recommended to everybody, don't put it there. You only pick and choose the things you want to hear. The planning board said, do not put it there. We recommend you listen to the people and don't put it there. And it's just, and you took all our green space. You took open space, you made Atlantic Street a park where it was a parking lot, and now you're taking our green area away from us. And I don't understand why the Board of Ed isn't upset, because the state says that you have to have 30 minutes of outdoor activity for pre-K schools, and they were just given their accreditation to be pre-K. And without this green area, they cannot go to Pulaski Park. It's a mile away. You can't walk the kids across streets. And they were using that. The school was using that. So this is really, really not good for the neighborhood. But you people seem to insist that.
She got the other, she got extra 20 seconds.
No, 20 seconds. They woke up. There's nobody here.
Go ahead. We're listening. We're
Okay,
listening.
we're listening. All right.
Go ahead.
So if you want to go over to.
Over what?
To go to the freeholders and ask we can get their
Oh.
property. We need to get our salt off of Green Street. I told them in September.
Okay.
And the garbage truck is here. But it's so embarrassing, those old garbage trucks. It's so embarrassing to see them riding around. It's like Stafford and Son. It's
Listen, Kathy,
disgusting.
they should be
They
clean
should
and painted.
They're horrible. Just get rid of them.
You see, when you paint yourself, how you look? You look beautiful.
Seeing nobody else, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Thank-
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims is absent. Councilman Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay. Ms. Von Rudenborg.
Good evening. To the gentleman on Summit regarding the Airbnb, I completely agree. I think originally it started for resort areas, like Ms. Salvo said, and, weekly rentals, things like that. And it's one thing to have a long-term rental, but they're not doing the background checks on the people at these kind of things at Airbnb. So it is scary, and I completely understand. So I think something has to be done to look into that. I'm glad to see down by the ECDC, the monitoring going on with the crossing guard. Definitely think a police presence would help with the situation with the children crossing, because it is helping, but now they're kind of crossing in the area where they're dropping and picking up kids, so I think that has to be monitored. Yes. I have seen that car there. I'm only there during the day, not on the weekends or at night.
I don't care. I do have to tell you, and I know this is not, that crossing guard has made a difference.
Yes, no, I
She
definitely,
is a nice lady.
Yes.
She's doing a good job, and it's a little bit better. Not a
yes,
lot,
you're
but a
right.
little.
No, it is, and that's why I said I'm glad to see the progress, but I think just the monitoring, making sure that we're, ticketing people that are double parking and doing all of that, should, definitely be looked into as well. Nellie Parker has a tricky tray February 2nd coming up. last Hackensack Recreation Wrestling match, home match, is this Saturday. And signups for Hackensack Rec Baseball are also underway, and I think we need to see more involvement in the baseball program in town. So any parents that, you know, want to come out and help coach and sign up your kids, it's important. It's important to have this program running strong. And that's about it. Have a good night.
Thanks, Steph. I was very happy to see that we have some new folks joining many of our boards. It's very encouraging to see that folks are willing to devote some time and, you know, to put their names out there and get involved. And very, very pleased to see that we're reinstituting the environmental board. You know, that's one that kind of fell by the wayside for years, and it's something that very, very important. And I know some of the council members and Ted did some interviewing, and it looks like we've got some great candidates that are going to step up and really do a great job on the environmental boards being reestablished. I also spent some time with one of our residents, Ruth Newstetter, talking about this board. For those of you that weren't at the committee of the whole meeting, we discussed this as well. And she brought up some very good points, too, about coordinating the environmental board with the Clean Communities folks and the work that's done there, and looking to do other really good things in the city to make our streets look better. We have some pretty ugly garbage cans, and some of them that are definitely not set up for recycling. You know, some of the other receptacles around town, you know, really need to be spiffed up a little. We talked a lot in other councils meetings about better sewer basin containers so that we can control the water bottles, et cetera, garbage that's going down into the sewers. So I think there's a number of things that, again, linking up to Clean Communities and all the great work that they've been doing, making that board be very, very successful. We have a lot going on in town over the next few days, actually. Ted mentioned earlier, the FAA meeting is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. in Moonachie. I'll be there representing the city. Again, I'll let you know at the next council meeting of any news or outcomes of that meeting. We always publish on the website as well whatever information we can share, so you can go there in the FAA area, TANAC area, and you can read up on the accomplishments of those meetings. Please continue to make the calls. I know we've made tremendous progress, and everyone's so happy and encouraged that this alternate flight path is working its way towards being established. But keep making your phone calls. When you hear something flying low or extra noisy, it's very important that we keep relaying that information to the airport. Okay, way too fast. Okay. All right, things going on in town at the Hackensack Performing Arts Center. Thursday night, Ruth Newstetter is one of our local artists, and she very generously has been displaying her work, Junk to Jewels, in the gallery at the Hackensack Performing Arts Center here on Atlantic Street and Atlantic and State. And she's having her closing of her show this Thursday night, starting at 6. If anyone wanted to get over there and see and thank her and see some of her lovely work. You know, we're looking to do rotating of artists, either every 6 weeks or every 2 months. There'll be, you know, local artists displaying their works. And great job by Ruth, and her work really dressed up the place. It looked gorgeous, especially for the opening night. Friday night, we have at the Performing Arts Center, there's improv comedy night. Ryan Euban has a show going on. That's on Friday night for anyone that's interested. Saturday night is one of our Pack the House series. Our own Hackensack Matthew Whitaker will be opening act for Allison Williams with the Nat Adderley Trio. So there are still tickets available for that for Saturday evening. Go to hackpack.org. You can buy your tickets right online. And following very closely on February 3rd, John Waite will be having a concert. Now, those tickets are selling out pretty quickly. So
10 left.
you know, anyone that wants to go, get online and order your tickets, because that's going to be another phenomenal show. So we have, you know, quite a few things that are coming up for those that are interested in some local entertainment, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Also this Friday, the Ice House is having, I think around 6 p.m., they're having a little get-together to kind of wish well folks, you know, that have been practicing there and going off to the Olympics, et cetera. So very exciting for them, and anyone that's involved or interested there, you know, I think it's worthwhile to stop over and see what's happening. Other than that, thank you everyone for coming. Kathy, just a couple of notes. The salt shed, we've been working really hard trying to have that moved, and our plans are definitely to get that salt away from Green Street, and have been for the past couple of years. So, you know, we're hoping to have success there, and we certainly haven't forgotten about it. Anything, let me just look real quick at anybody else that spoke. Agree definitely, you want to know who your neighbors are, especially in a residential area. Agree that what Kathy said, I know that there are rules and regulations in our ordinances that talk about numbers of unrelated folks that are living in the residential zones. And I'm confident that city manager has your information and he'll definitely follow through and see what we can do to. I'm glad, thank you for coming and bringing that to our attention. We really do appreciate that. Anybody else? Rich Serbo, always trying to make the best deals we can for the city and get as many tax dollars as we can to the city, and we'll continue to work towards that initiative. So again, thanks for coming and bringing your concerns. Everyone have a good night.
Leo?
Well, first of all, my condolences again to John and wife Debbie for the loss of your mother-in-law, and try to keep in your prayer. Debbie's mother is going to be subject to an operation tomorrow morning. And people have to understand about taxes. 4 out of 4 here right now, we pay taxes for our properties, and nobody want to pay an extra $500, $700 extra every year. And we are trying to do that. At least we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Before, with no movement at all, how to get more revenue to try to get the taxes flat or maybe eventually some kind of reduction. But we are working on it. I hope so. It's going to happen in my lifetime, but it's going to happen. And nobody want to pay taxes in the way we are paying right now. But we are trying to do something. And you got better idea, come and sit down and we can talk. You know, I don't have no problem. You laugh about it, but it's true. And we try to work with Ted to try to control the traffic, to try to improve the problem that we got with speeding, the parking. You know, now we are looking to try to get some kind of signs that maybe it's gonna mention the speed that you are doing, right? And it's gonna be in red if you go over the 25. Let's say you are 28, it's gonna be red. And if you go back and you go down to 25, you're gonna see green, the number, and you're gonna say thank you. To try to tell to the people that they have to slow down. You know, there's too many accidents around in different towns because speeding, the distraction with the driver, distraction with the people that are walking our street, and we're gonna try to implement whatever we can to try to make the city safe. But people have to cooperate too. The kids, sometimes the kids, they cross in front of you like they are in their living room. And we are drivers, and in no way that sometimes you're gonna stop 6,000 pounds just in a second. So people have to be more alert, you know? And what else we got? And definitely, let's see if they can do something to talk to the construction guy, the two brothers, to see if we can split that parking lot in the M&M building, that way we can provide some relief to the schools. Okay, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you, Leo. I'm just going to reiterate, you know, the Hack Pack show on Friday night or Saturday night. Friday night is comedy night over there, but Saturday night's one of the Pack the House series shows with Allison Williams and Nat Adderley, and but more importantly, those two are pretty big names, believe it or not, in the music business. But the big name for us is Matthew Whitaker. Matthew Whitaker is an extraordinary young man. I think he's 16 or 17 years old. He was born blind. He's a music prodigy. He's amazing to watch. He won the night at the Apollo Theater. He's just an incredible, incredible performer, piano player, organ player, drums. Kid is really good. So if you get a chance, get online and get tickets to go see him, because and the other two are outstanding as well. Obviously, they're the headliners. But to have our own Matt Whitaker open for these two is really really great. The following week is, and this was my catch, was John Waite, February 3rd. That's going to be a great show. And I don't know if you guys know who John Waite is, but he had number one hits. He's quite a big recording artist back in his day, and he's still very good. I've gone on YouTube and seen him. He's excellent. Ruth Newstedter's show is closing Thursday, which you mentioned, 6 to 10. So if you get a chance, and I want to thank Ruth publicly, because her artwork, like Kathy said, was really enhanced the building, especially during our grand opening. It was nice to have it there. The dog parks, I know CD is here, so I'm gonna talk about the dog park, because there was a little chatter about the dog park this week. Because somehow I don't know if you've noticed, there's an easel over here. Hackensack was noted in the New York Times as a great diverse city, and it talks about all the stuff going on. And it was really, really, really good article. But sometimes when you put these things on social media, things take a right or left turn, Clyde, and all of a sudden, it went to dog park. And somebody came up with an idea to put the dog park, put it in Memorial Park. And I saw it, and I instantly, kind of politely said, that's not going to happen, because we already have a place for the dog park. And it didn't take long for the people from the fire department, mostly firemen and their wives, to say, that's a terrible idea to put, a dog park in with a memorial. But the dog park belongs in Stuyve Park, our first one. I can see us having another 2 or 3 dog parks, but Councilwoman von Rudenborg, I guess, is going to be taking the lead on this dog park, which is good to hear, and we appreciate that. And we want to move ahead and let the city manager know now we want to move ahead as fast as possible with this. I know we're waiting for some possible money from grants and stuff, but let's get this thing going. It's not as easy when somebody mentioned just throw some dirt down or mulch down and put a fence up. Unfortunately, it's a little more involved than that, but we'll get it done. I want to welcome the new board members that have signed up and that we have. That's exciting. And I too am excited about the environmental board coming back on. 150, 170 Main Street, I believe, is done with the pilings.
I was told.
Pilings are done. That means that building's going to be going vertical in a pretty short amount of time, which is important. So that's great. I don't know if you've been up Main Street lately, but 240 is like 3 or 4 stories up already. It's like amazing. And they're moving really quickly on the Current, which is where the Orteni Field Club was. And Woolworths is gone, and new stuff's going up there. So, yep, underground parking lots. It's a lot of stuff going on. I've been to the Olympic send-off at the Ice House before for the Olympians. It's an exciting thing, see these young people. They put on a little exhibition, and these kids are from most of them are from other countries that train here, but anybody who puts that type of dedication into a sport and gets to that level deserves our respect, and I'll be there Friday night to send them off as well. And public's welcome to go see that. So if you want to go see some real Olympians before they leave, now's your chance. The Airbnb, like I said, Dee, I didn't even know about this thing. I was like totally like, what? But city manager's going to deal with this, and if we have ordinances on the books already that will deal with it, then that's what we use. That'll be our tool. So with that, and can't think of anything else, I want to wish everybody a safe trip home, and thank you for coming tonight. Yep.
Motion to close?
Motion to close. Oh, I want to say one more thing. Rich, and I know you're going to take this the wrong way, but this is something that was told to me by previous council when I sat with them, because sometimes I would say the same thing. I'd say, gee, there's only like 3 people here. And he would say, well, things are going good. And that's, I know you're not going to agree with that either, but right now I think things are going well, and that's why we don't have a lot of people here. If there was uproar, there'd be 200-300 people in the seats. And, that's the way it is. But appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Motion to close?
Motion to close.
Offer?
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.